What a bold employee who dares to sit at the board of directors. At the board meeting, he will direct his criticism towards the directors present. Not only can't the directors fire him, they have to promote him and increase his salary, because he transformed from an exploited lower-level employee into an overnight tech sensation who could influence the company's stock price. He was a founding employee of the tech giant Autrans, when Autrans had only 4 programmers. He was one of them. He worked diligently for over a decade with modest pay, finally helped the company go public and enter the Fortune 500. The time had finally come for the company to fulfill its promise. The company had promised him $8 million in stock options. He would be able to cash in these $8 million in just 100 days. Despite his flawless work record, he received a layoff notice. The reason given was that his abilities no longer met company standards. Being fired not only meant losing his job, the $8 million in options would also be void. David had no choice but to plead with the optimization department head in charge of layoffs, but the manager completely belittled him. With no other options, he thought of a desperate plan. First apply to terminate the non-compete agreement with the company. Then look at startup venues, and appear at competitor companies' parties, pretending to possess core technology the company needed. Planning to cooperate with competitor companies, he intended to raise Autrans' concerns, so he could stay at the company for 100 days, and successfully get his $8 million in options. But he didn't expect things would get so big. Not only was he not laid off, but he was given important responsibilities. The HR director personally bought him a property, let him build a subsidiary within the company, taking full charge of new technology development. But his position was entirely a game between company executives. The optimization head wanted to lay off old employees with large stock options, to enter the board by saving huge personnel costs for the company. But he had encroached on the HR director's authority, and David, who possessed important technology, became the HR director's tool. He let the HR director promote David, because he didn't believe David had any real technology. The worker who originally just wanted his compensation back, ended up becoming a pawn in the game between 2 executives. How should he find his own victory in this difficult situation? Finally, under the efforts of David and his team, the bubble he created became reality. Becoming an overnight tech sensation, he became the hero behind Autrans' soaring stock price. But when he was called into the boardroom, he discovered he had been just an ordinary employee from beginning to end. A victory designed by the company to boost stock prices. David's so-called technology was actually worthless, but capital can make money from stories. The company just chose David as the protagonist of the story. In the end, David didn't stay at Autrans. Instead, he left with his team to start a new company. He said this would be a new cycle. The bubble factory would either fall in market competition, or become the next Autrans. By then, David would become the capitalist he once hated most.